And now in activity 1.5.1, we're just going to do some good repetitive information and memory practice and apply that to your learning. So we've got these things called game sheets, and there are a number of them to do. They're listed up here: terminology, equipment, BMPs, drawings, formula, calculations. And they're kind of gamified learning. So you play the game and document your play. So let's go ahead and see how that might work. So first thing we'll do is we'll open one. When you open one, you do have to be in Google Drive. I'll go ahead for right now and do the one site work terminology. And it'll ask you to make a copy. You do need to make your own copy. There is a little script attached to it, so you're going to have to say okay to that. And it comes up in some fashion like this. You may need to move it to a better location for yourself. And you can just start playing it. You can look at these. Now, there's a few things that you can do here. You can do Control and plus, and it makes it bigger on the screen, a little bit easier to see. And it's just a matching word. You have to look at that drawing and see if you can figure out what it is. And it says typical sewer connection. So that's probably sanitary system. And you can copy and paste. And if you did it right, that will turn green. If you want to, this is demolish. You can just type it in. But it has to be typed exactly like you see it in the reference vocabulary. Once you've got it all done, if you feel like it, you can shuffle the cards. And it's going to take a little while because it doesn't recognize you yet. And so after a little while, it takes maybe 30 seconds to a minute to say, oh, you need to be authorized to do this. So you just say, yes, let's authorize it. Allow it. And so once you do that, you'll click the shuffle button again. And it's up, then it goes very quickly. And your answers are probably wrong, so you can erase the answers at this point. And now you can see that there's a different set. There's about 20 of these things, 18 or 19 of them. So you can shuffle and play a number of different times to get as much of your vocabulary down so that you can look at an image and recognize what it is. Okay, it does help to have a big screen. There's a couple other little things. You can click the little arrow button to make that bigger. Hit plus a couple of times. Now it's really showing up pretty large so that you can see these images a little bit better. Okay, so that one looks like it's surveying to me. That looks like stormwater planning, SWPPP, and so on and so forth. Now, when you're done, you're going to have something that maybe looks like this. I just resized it with the Control minus, Control plus. And let's see what's required in here. Okay, in here, on 1.5, it says write the name of the file, site work terminology, provide a link to it. How do you do that? Okay, you click that open and you get to the share. Make sure it says anyone with the link, copy the link. Highlight, go to the link button, and paste in the URL. Okay, so you're going to do that for each one that you play. You're supposed to play them all. And then you should demonstrate your work. Okay, so let's come back down to the bottom again. It says play the game. Document your play for each assigned file. They're all on the research page. Take a screenshot or a snip and save it for later for inclusion in your workbook. You don't have to keep and save it. You can just put them right in as you go. Now notice I used a hierarchy display system where I took one of them and made it primary so people could see sort of how it worked. And I gave it a name, and it takes up about a square segment. And then these ones are all small versions. Those should be the remaining ones. Now, on my sample, I've just used examples of the same one over and over again. But you can put each one that you did and a name, and that will clearly identify to somebody that you did a whole bunch of these. And we should be able to see all these little green things there. Okay, and you can name them all. All right, so that's called a hierarchy method of showing. I took the one that I thought was most important and made it big. And then I split the other ones all up to make them a little smaller, smaller, smaller. Okay, so there you go. That is how you do activity 5.1, terminology and skill practice. And this week, it's all game sheets.